Hello, today is Tuesday, June 16th, 2026. Here is your daily signal. According to Fortune, President Trump has announced plans to sign a deal with Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a pivotal maritime passage for global oil flows. The Strait of Hormuz remains one of the world's most critical maritime chokepoints, as nearly 21 million barrels of oil, around 30% of the world's seaborne oil shipments, transit this corridor each day. U.S.-Iran negotiations around the strait have traditionally centered on easing regional tensions and ensuring reliable energy supply lines, especially after high-profile incidents such as the tanker attacks in 2019 that highlighted the vulnerability of international shipping. The latest arrangement aims to formalize new security protocols and de-escalation mechanisms between U.S. and Iranian naval forces. Reuters reports that an updated maritime security arrangement will support safer transit for oil tankers, while the Wall Street Journal confirmed that the U.S. Navy has established joint communication protocols to minimize the risk of miscommunication among naval patrols. Bloomberg noted the deal's immediate impact. Oil prices remain stable following the announcement, reflecting reduced risks for global supply. In the near term, heightened maritime security could lower insurance premiums for commercial shippers and encourage normalization of U.S.-Iran naval relations, offsetting accidental conflict risks. Medium term, the reliability of oil flows through the strait should help stabilize global energy markets and spur economic recovery efforts in the wake of the pandemic. At a strategic level, regional powers such as Saudi Arabia and the UAE may adjust their naval strategies in response to evolving U.S.-Iran cooperation. Now, turning to the global race for artificial intelligence supremacy. As Business Insider reports, the Trump administration's sudden ban on foreign access to Anthropic's advanced AI models Fable and Mythos has reverberated across the industry. Anthropic, founded in 2021 by former OpenAI employees, is recognized as a leader in generative AI, specializing in sophisticated large language models. The U.S. has escalated its AI export controls since 2022, specifically targeting China and restricting the international deployment of models such as Claude. These controls are administered by the Department of Commerce, reshaping tech companies' overseas partnerships and collaborations. On June 15, Reuters confirmed that Anthropic responded to fresh U.S. guidance by restricting Claude's access in China and Hong Kong, employing IP geofencing and adaptation of model deployment. Bloomberg added that the Department of Commerce issued new restrictions disallowing AI models abroad from being accessible in embargoed markets, and the Wall Street Journal reported on the intensified compliance dialogue between Anthropic and U.S. regulators. Near-term consequences will include limited revenue and user growth for U.S. AI firms in Asian markets. Medium-term, countries impacted by these controls, especially China, are likely to accelerate their domestic development of AI and semiconductor technologies, while U.S. firms will face rising legal and compliance costs that could compromise their competitiveness. Globally, as more nations react to U.S. export restrictions, we may see wider fragmentation of AI technical standards and regulatory frameworks. Finally, on the topic of quantum computing's energy efficiency in cryptocurrency mining, New Scientist highlights how a superconducting quantum computer has recently mined an experimental cryptocurrency called QUIP, achieving faster and more energy-efficient results compared to conventional mining hardware. Quantum computing leverages quantum bits, or qubits, to address complex computational problems, a stark contrast to classical techniques that fuel cryptocurrency mining and consume vast energy, with Bitcoin mining alone demanding over 140 terawatt-hours annually. While IBM, Google, and D-Wave stand out as pioneers in quantum technology, major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum are critically involved in this ongoing research, along with oversight from the U.S. Department of Energy and NIST. According to CoinDesk's interview with IBM Vice President Daro Gill, current quantum computers are still far less energy efficient than typical ASIC miners used for Bitcoin, and MIT Technology Review quotes Google Quantum AI confirming that practical quantum speedup for mainstream crypto mining hasn't yet been demonstrated. In the immediate term, the significant cooling and energy requirements of quantum hardware mean that ASIC and GPU miners will continue to dominate the crypto space. However, if quantum machines begin to deliver real efficiency gains in future, the security and energy paradigms underpinning cryptocurrency mining could be upended, triggering urgent redesigns of underlying algorithms and sparking broader disruption in mining centralization and costs. Now, onto the markets. In international markets, Dutch stocks led the region with the Netherlands rising nearly 0.5% day-on-day thanks to strong momentum in EWN, while Germany and France posted declines of over 1%, with EWQ among the top underperformers. Italy and Spain saw modest gains driven by EWI and EWP, whereas China large-cap stocks retreated and Hong Kong dropped sharply, as FXI and EWH underperformed. Japan surged, climbing over 1.4% driven by strong moves in EWJ, and India outperformed with INDA up 1.9% for the day. Taiwan saw remarkable strength, with EWT spiking more than 3.6%, while Indonesia posted the day's biggest international gain at 4.5%, led by IDX. In commodities, gold advanced nearly 2.6% as GLD rallied, while silver outperformed with SLV jumping more than 3.5%. Oil tumbled with USO down 3.3%, and platinum recovered strongly, up over 3.3%. Agriculture commodities were broadly stable, led by DBA, while carbon credits gained over 2.7% as KRBN strengthened. Copper inched higher and uranium soared 5.6%, led by URA. In the favorites category, AMD surged almost 7%, ARM led with a dramatic 8.3% jump, and Marvell posted a standout rise of 10%, while Microsoft climbed 2.3%. Apple edged up 1.8% and Amazon rose 3.1% on the session. In the sectors, semiconductor stocks rallied 5.4%, led by SOX, and the S&P 500 climbed 1.7%. Clean energy outperformed with QCLN up 3.3%, while healthcare edged lower and real estate declined slightly. That's it for today. You can find more news and details on our website. Goodbye.